I get the honor today to introduce an individual, a friend of mine that, and I can take you back to watching him um, do the presentation down in San Diego, and his verbiage, his communication, his people skills, everything. I, we had just got started, and I took my family down there, and they got to see him perform, and they were all just like, "Wow, this is good. This guy it knows how to talk business." And I thought he was this like RD, RVP, maybe SVP guy, and I would just like he was like ETL or like TC. It was like, what? This guy, and but guys, it's the training, it's the system, it's the ability of him being sick and tired of not being around his family, and he can tell you that story and making changes and helping others and making it about everybody else but him. And that's what you get. But it's going to take time, and it's going to take polishing, and it's going to take self-development, and they call it self-development because it's up to you. It is your responsibility to do it, and this guy has done it. He's been like I said earlier, he's been a great friend. He's been a mentor, and a silent, I call him a silent mentor because there's nothing direct. He's not talking to me weekly, but we do stay in touch. And he has been an absolute blessing in business in my life. And I can't thank him enough for that. And today he's going to lay it down. And I'm honored and privileged to be able to do this and bring you Mr. Julian Lewis.
Good morning, sir. It's great to see your face. It's I hope Rose is doing well too. You gotta tell her if she's probably on here somewhere. Tell her I said hi. And I just want to let you know that I have the same utmost respect for you. You and her and the relationship that we've been able to develop over the years, and just knowing who you are as an individual, knowing who you are as a father, as a grandfather, and just as all around someone who loves to see people win. And what I love about you, my man, is that you don't ever have to switch up. You don't have to compartmentalize. You don't have to be someone else in the spaces that you are, because the way you show up genuinely is enough. And so I appreciate being able to know you, and thank you again for all the kind words that you said, bringing me up, the ones I didn't hear, as well as the ones I just heard. So thank you, my friend, and welcome everyone. How's everyone doing this morning? What up, James Clark? It's good to see you, brother. So all right, so let's get into it. Today I wanted to just break down, I have a few conversations with a good friend of mine, Mr. Brian Baker. We talk off and on a lot, especially during the pandemic. We used to talk about a lot. And, I asked him, what do you think? What do you think we should talk about today? And a lot of the times, and we have these discussions, if you're on these calls on a daily basis, we have some great leaders that come on and talk about ACN. And a lot of times what they talk about is mindset. Can we agree? Talk about the mindset you need to have in order to have success in the business. And I'm going to touch on a little bit of mindset, but what I'm going to focus on more so over the next few weeks is the ACN system. Because in even talking to Mr. Brian Baker, he said a lot of times, new people get on these calls and the mindset is great and they're excited and they're motivated. Now they're developing a steel trap. They're developing an incredible mindset, but then they don't know what to do. so they have this great mindset, and they're just mentally strong, they're mentally capable, but they don't know the steps to take place or the steps that need to happen in order to have success. So I want to touch on those steps, if that's okay. And I want to interact with you. That's why I asked you to turn on your video. And Geraldine, S22, Mr. Dale Ranson, Dave Culver, all of you have a second to turn on your videos as we get it. Yeah, there he is. Hey, there he is. As we get going, I love seeing y'all. So this is going to be interactive. So I'm going to ask you questions, and if you're not driving, you can text it in the chat. If you are driving, don't do that, okay? Just smile at me or wave or something. So the question I want to ask, and I asked this to a leadership group recently. So if you're a part of that leadership group, do me a favor, don't answer, okay? Because you already, Rick, I'm looking at you, brother. So don't answer because you already know the answers. So what I want to ask all of you is, how do you get to, do me a favor and type it in the chat, how do you get to executive team leader? This is important. Chris, you can't answer either. It's not fair. It's not even fair. All right. So I'm looking at this chat. Some of you got slow Twitter fingers. It's okay. Slow thumbs, lethargic thumbs. Oh, David Babb wants a fake beard. No, you don't, man. You got it. Goatees are still good. 30 points, minimum 15 down line. Okay. Adrian O'Neill says 30 points. Jackie Black says have a plan. Maria says 30 points. Keep it going. Keep it going. I don't see it yet. Dave Culver says 30 points. 7 personal points. 30 points. 1 team member. Keep it going. I still don't see it. Move those thumbs. Let me see what you got. Move those thumbs. Do it. Okay, that's cool. Let me see. Anybody else? Josh Casey, what you got for me? I see you over there. Who else is on here? Let me see. Get to action. Become your own customer and get some customers. That's pretty cool. That's towards that's actually towards what I'm going to be talking about, but not quite. Anybody else? I gave you a little hint. Anybody else? Rick, they're not getting it. Anybody else? Okay. All right. So here's what we're going to do. I think the thumb stalled out. So I'm going to go ahead and break this down to you. At least one recruit together with 30. James, that's great too. Become an ETL factory. Josh, what does it mean though? So so let me ask you this question. All right. This is going to help you out so much, so much. So if I go up to you, let's say you're brand new, Ariel, if you're brand new, brand spanking new, and I'm going to read some of these things in the chat, and I want you guys to see if it sounds silly or if it sounds good. Okay? So Ariel, I'm going to read it to you. In order to get to executive team leader, you need to get 7 personal points, 30 points, and 1 team member, okay? Now go do that. Nod if you now know how to do it, or if you still don't know how to do it. Look how she's not nod yes if you know how to do it, nod no if you still don't know how to do it. Do you guys see that? She's clueless. Thank you very much. We didn't do this before, right? You didn't know I was going to do this, right? Absolutely not. Okay, let me do another one. Dave Culver said 30 points. So let me look at you, Josh Casey. If you're brand new and I say all you need to do to get to ETL is go get 30 points, now go. Do you now know what exactly you need to do? Say nod yes if you do, nod no if you still don't know. You still don't know. Okay, wait. Let me do it again. Someone said act like you are already an ETL. Okay, so let me pick on somebody. Who else do we have here? Lurleen. Hey, Lurleen, if I tell you, girl, just act like you're an ETL, and you just I'm acting like is this acting like a? Am I acting like what does that mean? Does that mean wear a pin? Does that mean wear a different suit? Does it mean walk around and speak ACN jargon? Like, what does that mean? Someone said staying in level 1. Okay, so I'm gonna pretend like you're new. Danny Payne. I want you to get to ETL, so stay in level 1. You're brand new. What does that mean? You have, right? Did you see his face? He said, he has no clue what that means. And this is the problem, okay? And like a lot of the leaders that know me, I mean, I'm not going to show you the problem and just keep you there. All right, I'm going to help you through this so that you can understand what you need to do. There is a disconnect. There is a disconnect because most people, when they think they're teaching and training, they're giving people definitions. I asked you, how do you get to ETL? All of you gave me the definition. Well, most of you gave me the definition of ETL. That doesn't tell me how to get there. That's like me saying, how do I get, and I don't have access to the internet. I don't have access to a phone. I don't have anything. And I see you on the street and I say, how do I get to Ralph's? For those of you that are in the South, that's Kroger. Okay, Ralph's out in San Diego is like Kroger. So how do I get to Ralph's? And you say, well, do you have GPS or a phone or anything? I say, no, I don't have any of that, but I need to get to Ralph's. And then you just tell me the address. How helpful is that? I'm not going to be able to get there. What you could do is say, if you go down this street, and you turn left on that street and you go past this gas station and you turn right, then I might get there. Is this true? But guess what will often probably happen? I'll get what? Lost. I'll get lost. I'll get lost. But if you know how to get there and you say, let's go, and you lock arms with me, and you walk me there, if you know how to get there and you actually walk me there, I'll get there. Is this true? This is important to understand because most of you are giving an address to people that have no GPS and you're not even offering up directions on how to get there. You're just giving them the address. Here's how you really get to executive team leader. You take someone through a 5-day process or a 7-day process or a 24-hour process of doing certain activities. Here's what those activities are. If I'm going to help Chris become an executive team leader, I'm going to tell him what it is. That's like giving him the address. I'm going to give him the definition of what it is. And then I'm going to go step by step through the directions of getting there. And I'm going to ensure he gets there by walking him there with me. Is that making sense to everyone? So, okay. So now, Julian, what does that mean? It actually means that I'm going to say, in order to become an executive team leader, Chris, the first step, this would be the directions, right? The first step is, it says you need to personally have X amount of points, right? And I'm saying X amount because this training is recorded and it might change from here time to time. So it's always going to be a certain amount of points that you need personally, right? And it's always going to be a certain amount of points that your team needs. Is this true? Okay, so you need a certain amount of points that you've personally acquired. Now, there's 2 ways to acquire these points, Chris. We'll look through the services and see the services that will benefit you to try yourself. And there are going to be services that people that you know try. All right. So the first thing, the easiest thing is let's take a look, Chris, and identify the services that you can try. And so now I'm going to help Chris enroll in services that he can try. Now, how am I going to get other people to try these services? Rick, you can't answer again. What's the smartest way? So now I'm helping him to do what we call qualify himself, right? So now he's tried a few services, but he's still not qualified yet. And so he needs other people to try these services to get qualified. Does anyone know the best step to get other people to become a customer? Anyone know? Anyone know? Okay, I see a lot. I see a lot. I see a lot. I see a lot. And that sounds great. But that was kind of a trick question. Nope, that was a trick question. That was a trick question. Check this out. Oh, wait, someone said it. Wait, I see it. Who did that? Let me pull this up. Brian Baker, my good friend. No wonder he's in top production. He's the only one that got it. See, if you have the flu, listen to me carefully. This is such a good trend because I see a lot of people that are confused, and this is great. If you have the flu, right, and all I do is give you cough syrup because you're coughing, does that take care of your flu? Yes or no? No. That's how a lot of people address it. So I'm going to be really clear with you. The way you get customers in ACN, the most successful people at getting customers aren't getting customers by focusing on the symptom of customers. The best people who get customers, they show the ACN presentation and let people decide whether they want to be a business owner or a customer. And the ones that decide to become a customer, they show them how to be one. Who thinks that's so simple that they just had an aha moment? See, we overcomplicate ACN. ACN's been so simple. My first mentor and I, we always used to joke around in mindset training because we didn't know all the gigawatts and gigawatts of phone, internet, TV, all these things. Last training I did last week was how everything can tend to be overwhelming, didn't I? And I said, if you keep the main thing, you'll have success. What was the main thing? Showing people the business, right? So we're back at it now. So now go back to this person has their services. They're not quite qualified. We want to help them to get qualified. So the next step is to have a meeting. That's the next step. And who are we going to invite? So the way we do it is the first invites are going to be the people that are closest to them. Because Chris, we're going to invite the people closest to you because I know personally, I'm not going to say this to Chris, but I'm going to put on my leader hat and talk to everyone as leaders right now. I know that these are the people that Chris is going to be the most excited to share and mess it up with. And so what I'm going to do is I say, Chris, we're gonna have a soft opening and we're gonna have a grand opening. A soft opening, if you've ever been to one, I'm a foodie. I love Brian too. Brian knows this, man. All we do, we'll talk. It's so funny. We'll be on the phone, Brian Baker and I, and we'll just talk about food. And you can tell, you can hear when someone's mouth is watering on the other line and they swallow hard. You know what I'm talking? So we'll have conversations about food. And I just did it right now. I don't know if you heard it, but okay. So I'll talk to Chris and I say, Chris, have you ever heard of a soft opening? So if I owned a restaurant and I was about to open my restaurant, chances are I'd have a soft opening And a soft opening is where all I invite, it's an exclusive invite, where all I invite is my closest people, my closest family, my closest friends, so that they can enjoy my food at my restaurant and give me feedback before I open up to the world. Does that make sense to everyone? That's a soft opening. A grand opening, well, most of you already know what a grand opening is. It's when you open and you invite the entire world out. Does that make sense to everyone? So the soft opening is where I'm going to invite my best friend. I'm going to invite my brother Brian. I'm going to invite everyone close to me, my mom, everyone that I love, people that I trust, people that I'm okay with being in my house if I'm not there. Can we agree there's some people you're okay with them being in their house, but they got to be watched, right? There's some people they can be in your house if you're not there. So the people that I love, whether it's remote, like we're speaking to each other right now, or it's in person, that part doesn't really matter. I'm going to invite the closest people. And now Chris has his closest people that we're going to connect with to invite. And I give them an exclusive invite, Chris. And here's how the invite looks. Chris is going to text them. Now, all of you that are trying to take notes, stop it. You don't need to take notes. I see your pen. Maria, I saw your pen. You don't need to take notes. Here's why. This is recorded. I just need you to internalize this and listen. And not only is it recorded, but on Saturday, I'm going to break these steps down in detail in the Saturday training for all of you and your newest people. So no one will ever make the mistake of misunderstanding how to train on this or how to do it again. Is this fair? All right, cool. So I'm going to train Chris. I said, Chris, this is 2023. We don't just call people out of the blue because that's considered rude now. You know, I had a discussion with my aunt. I was taking her to the airport this week, and she needed to ask me to go to the airport a couple of days ago. And she's sitting with my mom, and she said, I'm going to ask Julian if he can take me to the airport. And she goes to text me because she knows this. My mom says, you should just call her. And my aunt's telling me this while we're in the car driving to the airport. She says, your mom said, you should just call him. And she looks at my mom and say, why would I do that if I want to reach him? Some of y'all are going to get that. Some of you won't. See, in 2023, it's more likely that you'll get someone to respond if you text them first. If you try to call them first and they don't pick up, it's not because they're disrespecting you. It's because behaviors change through different generations. And if you are socially aware of this, you can take advantage of it. For instance, my daughter, she uses text more, right? But so on iMessage, she doesn't use iMessage much. She uses IG. So the majority of our text conversations are through IG, because on IG, we can send each other back and forth silly animal videos and certain funny things, and it's easier. If I want to connect with my daughter, I would be silly. This is parenting advice as well as ACN advice. I would be silly to try to force her to pick up the phone and talk to me every single time I needed to talk to her. If I did that, I would never communicate with my daughter. So instead of trying to argue with how I communicate with her, I find out the path of least resistance where she'll be more open to communicate. And now we interact on a regular basis. In fact, at school this morning, she already sent me a message about something funny in her first period. Does that make sense, you guys? Okay, same thing applies in ACN. So here's what you do. for the closest people to Chris, here's what I'll say. I need you to text the closest people to you. I need you to text Rose. I need you to text your kid. I need you to text your best friend, and I need to text you to text your closest friend in firefighting. Okay, so he has all those people, and here's what he texts them. He texts them, I'm really excited. I have great news. When do you have 2 minutes to talk? I'm really excited. I have great news. You don't have to type that down. It's going to be on the training. You're going to see a slide. When do you have 2 minutes to talk? When anyone who's human, I don't know if they're alien or a ghost or something, but anyone who's human looks at their phone and reads that, it's going to pique their interest because it's going to play on their curiosity, or also known as, and you know who responds the fastest? Nosy people. So if any of your close people are nosy, they're going to respond fast. In fact, some of the nosiest people, when they read, when do you have 2 minutes to talk? Their nosiness affects them so much that they call you back immediately. And now all of a sudden your phone's ringing. Here's what you do. You let it go to voicemail. And you say, I didn't mean right now, silly. I'm busy right now. When do you have 2 minutes to talk? Why do you need to have a time? It's because you're going to get your mentor or sponsor on a 3-way call at that specified time. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay, now you say, mentor, sponsor, here are the times for my closest people. Mentors or sponsor will call on 3-way with you to those people at that specified time. And all you'll say is, oh my gosh, Rick, I'm so excited. I have someone on the phone that's helping me. Hold on 1 second. That's all Rick has to say. We used to call this something called, this is an upgraded version for Josh and Clark. This is something I created back in the day called Phone Smash. This is the upgraded version of that. Okay. So all Chris is going to do, he's going to get excited. I got somebody on the phone. I'm so excited. Hold on 1 second. And then I say, hey, Rick, this is Julian. I'm working with Chris. I don't know if he's told you, but I'm actually coaching him on launching his business. I've coached a lot of people on this. He's very excited. And we're at the point in his business where we're doing an exclusive soft launch or soft opening. And so we're doing a grand opening next, but we're inviting a few people to be able to take a look at what we're doing. And we want to get your opinion before we go to full launch. Now, Chris is not allowed to break down any information. So once we get done, if you try to ask him things, he's not going to tell you. I'm just letting you know right now, Rick. Okay. We're going to save that for this is exclusive. So we're going to save that for our soft opening. But I'd love to give you a personal and exclusive invite because you're his best friend and we would love to have you there. Do you see how simple that is? Then you realize it's not about information. Let me get more information. There's nothing that I'm saying that's going to prompt a response like that. Everything I said was about how important Rick is, that this is exclusive and it's special before we do a grand opening. And it's important, and we need Rick's opinion to evaluate. Does that make sense? He's going to be on because it's simple. I didn't do anything that's going to elicit any weird response from Rick. A lot of the weird answers people get is because you have a weird first response. Like the thing you start out with is strange. So because you start out with something strange or open or strange, my response is going to be weird. Now you're strange and I'm weird and there's no business happening. Does that make sense? All right. So Rick's excited. We got to go, Rick. I look forward to meeting you. I can't wait for you to be able to see what Chris is up to. I'm excited for Chris. He's going to knock this out the park. All right. So we do. We call everybody who's close to him. We say the same exact thing. And now I've already prepped them and primed them. Here's why. Because Rick might be like, okay, you're right, Julian, that's cool. I won't ask him a thing. But in Rick's mind, he's saying, this is my best friend. The moment this dude hangs up, I'm calling Chris and I'm asking for the tea, right? So Rick calls Chris and says, Chris, tell me what's going on. But I already gave Rick what was up. So Chris says, you heard what Julian said. Why would you ask me that? You're my best friend. I'm waiting until the exclusive event. Why would you even show up if I'm going to give you the information now? Weirdo, I'll see you there. Love you. Bye. That's how we have fun with people. That's how simple this is, guys. Next step, grand opening. Grand opening is when we invite everyone. But we send the same message. OMG, I'm really excited. When do you have 2 minutes to talk? OMG, I'm really excited. I have great news. When do you have 2 minutes? You have to say, I'm really excited to have great news, because human beings are negative by default. So if you say, OMG, when do you have 2 minutes to talk? People are thinking negative. So they're like, what happened? Did you lose a foot? Did your hair fall off? What happened, right? They're thinking something weird. So you have to say, OMG, I have great news. When do you have 2 minutes to talk? Okay. And then when they call, say, listen, I'm doing a grand opening. I'm working with a coach and I'm rolling out my business. And I value your opinion. I would love for you to be there. That's it, guys. And at the presentation, we're going to ask for their opinion. Here's what the opinion is. Do you see yourself as a customer, a business owner, or do you want to support and just represent me on socials and give me some referrals? Now, here's the interesting thing as I wrap up. I've heard professionals get into network marketing and ACN and say, well, this is weird. In real business, you don't talk to your friends and family. And those are people who don't understand real business. Actually, you do. If you understand the VC space, venture capital, and raising seed money, you know what the first round of raising is? Pre-seed is? It's friends and family. Those are the people go to first. So Silicon Valley, they'll go to friends and family to get that first million of pre-seed money to launch their business. So they're going to friends and family for support. So any of you that are saying that's not how business works, obviously haven't built a business, because it is 100% how traditional business works and network marketing. And so we're going to go for the only thing we're asking from friends and family is for their opinion. And if they give an opinion that leans towards becoming a business owner, great. If they give one leaning towards becoming a referral, outstanding. If they give one leaning towards being a customer, tremendous. And you know what you never have to do? You never have to be a psychic and try to convince someone to be any of those things. All you need to do is get great at the invite, get great at showing the business, and then asking for their opinion. And that's how you get from brand new to executive team leader. Hope that made sense to all of you. Mr. Chris King, I'll turn the call back over to you, sir.